Okay, let's jump right in. Today we're doing a deep dive into the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, but we're focusing on a really tragic and disturbing thread.
It's a story about heroism that gets completely turned on its head.
Exactly. We're talking about Sergeant Terrence Yeakey, an Oklahoma City police officer. He was, by all accounts, the very first responder to get to the Murrah Federal Building.
And his actions in those first few minutes were just unbelievably heroic. He ran straight into the wreckage.
With his bare hands pulling out at least 4 people, he literally worked until he collapsed and was taken to the hospital.
Right. But it's at the hospital where this whole story just takes a sharp turn.
A really sharp turn. He tells his ex-wife, Tonya, something absolutely chilling. He says, it's not what they're saying it is. They're lying about what's going on down there.
I mean, what a thing to say. He's just been pulled from the rubble, and his first thought is that the official story is a lie.
So what did he see? What was it that made him so certain?
Well, it seems he and others saw evidence that just didn't fit the single truck bomb theory. We're talking about signs of multiple explosions inside the building.
Like craters in the parking garage, columns blown outward instead of inward.
Exactly. And even reports of unexploded ordnance being removed by bomb squads. Things that point to a much more complex attack.
And he documented all of this in his initial report, a 9-page report.
A very detailed 9-page report. And almost immediately, his superiors, we're talking Lieutenant Randall, Major Upchurch, Chief Gonzalez, they started pressuring him.
They wanted him to rewrite it.
Not just rewrite it, they wanted him to scrap it. And when he wouldn't, that original report, it just disappeared.
It just vanished. And then they offer him the Medal of Valor, but with a catch, right?
Yeah, the catch was to just accept the award and keep his mouth shut about what he really saw.
He refused.
He refused. And that's when the pressure turned into outright harassment, targeted harassment.
It's pretty terrifying stuff. Slashed tires, windows smashed on his car.
His phone was tapped. He said they'd even play recordings of his own conversations back to him on his answering machine. Unmarked cars followed him everywhere.
Wow. I mean, it's no wonder the man was breaking down. He apparently showed up at his ex-wife's house crying, begging to remarry her.
Just so his daughters could get his insurance benefits. He knew he was a target. He tried to hide evidence, a VCR, a briefcase, some film, but it all went missing after he died.
And his death. I mean, the timing is just beyond suspicious. May 8th, 1996.
Just 3 days before he was scheduled to receive that Medal of Valor. He'd called a friend that day, panic, saying the feds are following me, that he was trying to hide his evidence.
And then his car is found abandoned near the El Reno Federal Prison. The seats are just soaked in blood. A bloody knife is hidden away.
But his body isn't there. It's found 1.5 miles away.
1.5 miles. And the state of the body is where this story goes from a potential cover-up to, well, something much darker.
The physical evidence is just brutal. We're talking 13 different cuts on his wrists, his arms, his throat.
And the cuts were filled with mud and grass, which suggests he was dragged. There were rope burns on his neck and ankles, handcuff bruises on his wrists. This was not self-inflicted.
No. And then the actual cause of death was a single gunshot wound to the head, a contact wound above his right eye.
But the gun wasn't his service clock. It was a small caliber weapon.
And here's the craziest part. No blood trail between the bloody car and the body 1.5 miles away. No suicide note. The car had been tampered with, brakes cut. And after 30 officers searched the scene and found no gun.
One just appears after the FBI gets there.
Right. And perhaps the most damning failure of all, no autopsy was ever performed.
No autopsy. With all of that evidence of torture, how do you even justify that?
You can't. The official ruling was suicide. The police chief blamed it on marital problems, even though he and Tonya were reconciling.
And the family was later warned off by attorneys, right? Told to leave it alone. 2 U.S. senators could fall.
Yeah. It's an incredible story. When you look at the bigger picture, it feels like this entire cover-up was designed to bury any narrative that contradicted the simple single bomber story.
And the cost was immense. A hero was silenced, his family was terrorized, and his own children were denied his pension, all to protect an official story.
The families of the victims never got the full truth.
So that leaves us with a question for you to think about. When a hero who tells the truth is eliminated, and the state protects the official narrative at all costs, what's the ultimate price we all pay for accepting that incomplete version of history? What other truths might still be buried out there?